What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. This one's finished in ice cap. MSRP is $69,500. Big shout out to Flow Toyota of Statesville for providing this new off-road SUV for today's video. Take a look at their website linked down below. Underneath the hood of the all-new 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser, you're going to find the 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This is the iForce Max featuring a hybrid system as well. It makes 326 horsepower with 465 pound-feet of torque, has an 8-speed automatic transmission, a full-time 4-wheel drive system. Towing capacity is around 6,000 pounds, curb weight is around 5,000 pounds, and running on a 17.9 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 22 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway. The overall length is 193.8 inches with a wheelbase at 112.2, width is 77.9, and height is 76.1 inches. For some off-road capabilities, approach angle is 31 degrees, ground clearance is 8 inches, and departure angle is 17 degrees. Moving on to the exterior styling with the all-new Toyota Land Cruiser, this is the Land Cruiser Grade, which is more the middle trim level above the 1958 and of course the first edition. But you're going to get these really cool unique headlights in a rectangular shape with the triple beam for the LEDs. You can see all this gray trim cutting towards the center of the grille with Toyota written out in that old school font, and then you do have a little bit of plastic in the front section of the front bumper. You have this square mesh forward-facing camera, all of your parking sensors, tons of openings as well, and then some silver color down below. You're going to get more of this plastic color in the farthest sides of the bumper, an LED Rigid Industries fog light down below, and you can see a little bit of body color as well. Has a pretty cool look, definitely a very retro-looking SUV. Those front fenders bulge outwards really nicely, and I like how the hood dips down in the center with the raised section on the left and right side. Gives the driver actually better visibility when off-roading. You're going to see those sharp lines throughout the hood, and it definitely finishes up really nicely to have that retro style. At the side profile, you're going to get a nice set of 18-inch wheels wrapped in an all-terrain tire. Definitely a very street-focused design for this specific spec. You got plastic for this front fender arch to protect the body from some chips from off-roading, and then you can see the nice curves around that front fender. This one also has a nice set of plastic running boards giving you a good step into the vehicle, and then you can see more of that plastic material for the rocker panels. Sharp body line down below, gloss black on the door handles, as well as the mirror caps. Got an LED turn signal, and then all black trim surrounding all the windows. I also like with the white color, you're going to see these two gloss black trim pieces to separate the roof from the rest of the vehicle. And then up above, we have some gloss black for the roof racks, and then you can see the sunroof up above. For the side profile, very boxy SUV as you would expect. This and the Lexus GX share a lot of similarities. They are the same platform. But you can tell this one's just a little bit more off-road focused rather than luxury. And then making our way in back, you got a nice set of LED taillights finish off in the red iForce Max badge. And you can see an integrated spoiler up above with the windshield wiper. We have Toyota and Land Cruiser all written out in black throughout the center. And then the entire rear bumper is all finished off in the plastic. You got some silver trim to it. Trailer hitch is underneath this cover. All your parking sensors. And then some nice sharp lines throughout this liftgate. Moving to the key, we got Land Cruiser on one side and then your typical buttons across the other side. Going ahead and locking the truck, you can just grab the door handle. It's going to automatically unlock. And we can take a look at the interior. This one gets the black leather interior, really nice all around. On the door panel even, you are going to get some soft touch materials. So in the upper portion, this is all a nice padded material, which looks pretty cool. Got your release handle, memory seating, window controls, and mirror controls, and then a nice amount of padding on the armrest with contrast stitching. Storage down below, and then all the power controls on the left side of the seat. There's even a manual leg rest. So nice to see that. Got the perforations throughout the center, smooth leather on the outsides, and then throughout the center of the backrest, you're going to see a little bit more stitching making its way to the headrest. You also got a really nice, chunky looking steering wheel with the retro Toyota logo, and then some dark trim. And then now inside the 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. On the steering wheel, on the left side, you're going to see some Bluetooth and audio controls. We also have a lot of cruise control settings over on the right side. Taking a look at the gauge cluster, this is a full LCD display. You can see over on the left, we have the tach, we have the speedometer in the center, as well as on the right side. If I go ahead and scroll left and right, you're going to see a few things popping up. You can get all sorts of different information throughout these center screens. And then if I hold down the OK icon, you can configure what you want to see in each of the 3 sections of the screen. So pretty similar to all the new Toyotas. They're pretty standard across the board. You can see a few different items right there, and then same thing for the far right side. So nice overall display for sure. On the left side of the steering wheel, you're going to see the stock for the turn signals, and then on the right, we have the windshield wipers. And then down below all that, you're going to see automatic high beams. We have fog lights, tailgate release, gas cap, and then we even have trailer brake adjustments. One of the air vents, and then a nice short dashboard. You can see some soft touch material all throughout it. A nice trim piece as well. So definitely pretty nice materials. And then I like the bezel for the gauge cluster as well as the infotainment. Got your volume over on the left side. Then the screen in the center is basically what you're going to see on all the Toyotas. We have audio controls that will pop up, phone integration. Under vehicle, there will be a few extra settings for climate you're able to adjust. We have trip information you can take a look at as well, view your history, and then we even have some off-road information. You're going to get a pretty cool depiction, pitch and roll, things like that. We have vehicle alerts, if any, and then under settings, you're going to get just a few things that you can go through. So a pretty simple screen overall. It does have quite a lot though. And if we go ahead and pop this into reverse, you got a nice backup camera, top-down view as well. You can make a few adjustments to this, which is a good touch. Now if I go ahead and put it into drive and tap the view icon down below, you can now see the top-down with that front view. You can also toggle the view icon, get yourself a nice 3D graphic. And a cool thing with the top-down view, once you start accelerating or moving slowly, it actually plays you what is underneath the vehicle. So that is a super unique feature, great for off-roading. Underneath all that, we're going to get your 2 air vents and then climate controls. We have heated and ventilated seating, all the controls on the screen. You also have more controls over here for the rear, plugs down below as well, and then all this is for drive modes. Right now we are in your normal drive mode select. We can go into sport, normal, and eco, and then if we toggle out of here into the multi-terrain select, you're going to get all your off-road settings, and now you can toggle that same dial to go into all sorts of off-road controls. So pretty cool to see street modes and off-road modes. We have downhill assist, crawl control, wireless phone charging, and cup holders. You're going to see the park and brake, and then your 2 locking differentials, front sway bar disconnect, and then all your 4-wheel drive settings. We have more padding on this armrest with stitching, and as you can hear, we got the cool box in here. So that is a great thing for some cold sandwiches to keep when you're off-roading. You also got a nice little bucket down here, and then one last look at the interior. This mid-trim level, quite nice, honestly. Really good use of materials. Everything is soft touch, pretty nice layout. And then up above, you're gonna see just a black headliner, manual sunroof shade, and then you can see up above, you have all your dome-like controls, and the rear view mirror has the integrated camera, which is a great touch, garage door buttons, and then a dash cam on this particular spec. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, you're gonna get all the same materials back here. You got this nice soft touch material, the padding, padded armrests, JBL audio system, and your window control. And then back here, you got the same smooth leather with all the perforations. As you can see, 3 people back here. There's no third row in a Land Cruiser. You have storage behind both of these seats, and you do get all of your temperature controls. You have all these different controls here with the screen, plugs down below. The actual air vents are going to be located up in the headliner. We have a dome light as well. And then the middle seat, we can pull this down. You have a nice armrest with 2 cup holders, and the seats are able to be reclined. You can pull this lever. Right now they are reclined, but you can also pull that, get the seat upwards, gaining extra access or storage area into the vehicle, which is a cool touch. And of course, you can just clamp them down for a flat fold. So hopping into the back of the Toyota Land Cruiser, so the recline angle is pretty nice. It's straight up right now, and we can get all the way back. And at 5'11" with the driver's seat at my height, this is a comfortable SUV. I have plenty of legroom and footroom, so much headroom in here, that's like almost a foot. Armrests are great, the air vents up above are great. Honestly, this is a really good family-focused SUV. If you want something with the adventure side and all the good stuff to it, this is definitely a pretty good way to go, and the back seat is definitely nice. Moving on to all the cargo area, there is a button on this left side. You can pop the glass independently. Lifting that up, you can gain access into the cargo area. That's a great touch. Not many SUVs have that. We have the camera for the mirror located right here. Very easily close it, and then the button in the center. We do get a power-operated liftgate. We can automatically get that open. Being the hybrid system, there is going to be this pretty large gap into the back. Now you can pop this open, there's a little bit of storage, however you are going to have to deal with that for this vehicle. Got a nice flat area though, and you can tell that this platform does have a third row. You can see that you have cup holders back here, even some auxiliary plugs. The new 4Runner, the new Lexus GX will have 3-row seating. However, the Land Cruiser, like I mentioned, just a 2-row. Nonetheless, quite a lot of storage area. To operate the back seats now, you do have to go back into here and just go ahead and pull that recline lever to do that. But if we just lock them in the down position, you can get a good idea of how much space you're gonna get. There is a bump to go over those second row seats, but nonetheless, super practical SUV. Up above, we do have all sorts of different speakers underneath the liftgate, and then we have, of course, our button and a handle to where you can automatically close everything down. All right, so setting off now in the Toyota Land Cruiser. So this is an off-roader with all the technology it has. Now going from road to gravel, this is about all I can do in a brand new vehicle for off-roading. But you literally don't even feel going on the gravel. It really does absorb these bumps nicely. It's an easy vehicle. I can't wait one day, hopefully, to get one of these off-road. But when you go into reverse, you can see under the vehicle, of course, we got that backup camera and everything. So really easy vehicle to pinpoint and place and see what's going on. You can just toggle that again. Got the full top-down view. This is a really nice, comfortable vehicle, and you can tell it is going to be at home when hitting all the trails. You have a really good seating position. You're nice and high up. Of course, you can see over the hood. You can even see how the hood does dip to give you that better visibility. Mirrors do a great job. I love the camera. Over your left and right shoulder, really nothing too crazy as well. So overall, it's a pretty easy vehicle to drive in. The seats are super comfortable, and everything you touch is a nice soft touch material. So I like how they've given this trim level all of that. The base model one to me is just way too cheap feeling for hardly much less money. So this is a pretty nice car. Everything just looks and feels really nice to it. The hybrid power plant is quick. I mean, you get that instant electric motor power, but you also get the turbo power on top of that. So it really is a peppy to drive vehicle. If we just toggle it into the sport mode, the transmission and everything gets a little bit sharper, a little bit more responsive. But honestly, I am enjoying driving this. Super seamless, trying not to rev it up too high, but this thing is pretty cool. On top of that, it's pretty quiet. While it's shaped like a brick, you know, this is an off-roader, it's really comfortable and quiet. We're going 45 miles an hour and really don't have any issues. It's pretty smooth as well for suspension. It absorbs the bumps nicely. You don't really hear much drivetrain noise either, so it's not really like a noisy 4-cylinder or anything. And they've done a good job at least giving you a pretty seamless integration of the hybrid system. And given that, you know, it's not really gonna be stressing the motor much, given you have that extra support from the EV. So honestly, normal driving, it's a nice place to be. It's very comfortable, very roomy. I have tons of headroom, legroom, all sorts of adjustments. You have a power adjustment for all the steering controls as well. This is something that you can daily drive and just kind of enjoy. The tech all works really well. It's simple like a Toyota. And just fundamentally, this is a nice place to be. I would love this as a daily, a good family SUV. Plenty of room for kids and cargo. You can still tow and stuff. So yeah, driving in the Land Cruiser, this one is kind of the middle of the trim level, so this is the go-to, I would say, if you just want a nice normal one without going crazy on the expensive first edition or getting the cheap one, which is honestly way too cheap feeling. This is where it's at. This feels nice. Steering's all nice too. It's got a good amount of weight. It's light enough to be easy, but heavy enough to give you the direct feeling. And there's not really a crazy body roll. It's pretty confident on the road itself. But the fact that you have independent front suspension, you can disconnect the sway bar if you want better off-road capabilities. So I feel like they've given you a good dynamic of the off-roading, but also the on-road capabilities are not sacrificed for being something that is incredibly capable. So my honest thoughts with the Land Cruiser, back on the gravel, most off-roading I can do in a brand new vehicle. But I'm really excited about this vehicle. I think it's a pretty good overall SUV. It's got a lot of space. It's very practical and usable. You know, around 70 grand for this one. It's certainly not cheap. Land Cruisers have never been cheap. However, this is less expensive comparing it to the previous generation. So the previous gen was a significantly different vehicle. This is a whole new platform. And honestly, I feel like they're kind of getting back to their roots with more of a off-road style SUV with the luxury touch. The last one was really just a glorified jumbo SUV, not really the Land Cruiser of back in the day. So I kind of like where they are taking this one. Now when you look at its, honestly, brothers, the new Toyota 4Runner for 2025 and the new Lexus GX, This one kind of is an interesting vehicle given it's not really much more expensive to get the Lexus. In that car, you get a twin turbo V6 and a third row. So you kind of get a lot more for the money in the Lexus. And the new Toyota 4Runner, I don't think they've unveiled pricing, but I would assume it's going to be priced right with the new Toyota Tacoma. So probably 55 grand, you can get a loaded up new 4Runner TRD off-road, and you're pretty much going to have everything that this has with the hybrid and still a third row. So a little interesting the way they've done pricing. I kind of think this one is for the person who just really wants the name Land Cruiser. And we'll see as time goes by how the three vehicles hold their value to see which one was really the best choice when talking about it from a financial viewpoint. But as far as this vehicle, it's nice. It drives like a tank, it drives tough. You know, it doesn't just feel like a cheap SUV, a wannabe off-roader. This has this serious technology and capabilities to where, I mean, it's not worth the price, I would say. Now they start around 55 grand, however, realistically, you're gonna be spending well into the 60s just with taxes, registration, dealer add-ons, things like that. I think this is the sweet spot. I drove the 1958. Honestly, the interior is solid, hard plastic. It felt like junk for $60-something thousand. No way. So I think this is the one that I would buy. I'm really interested in this vehicle, quite honestly. So maybe in a couple years, if I go for an SUV one day, I'm kind of torn on the Land Cruiser or the 4Runner. It really will depend on pricing and how they both drive. This drives very nice. This drives kind of like a luxury vehicle, a higher end product, just like the Lexus GX. So it'll be interesting if the 4Runner drives more like the Tacoma, a little bit more step down, I would say. Not to say it's a bad thing, but this is definitely a nice driving vehicle. I like the hybrid drivetrain too. Now Toyota has had some reliability issues lately. I feel like they're kind of falling off. They're not as good as they used to be. However, I think with these turbo engines, a lot of people are a little scared about reliability and the robust aspect. Given the hybrid, you have the electric motors assisting the turbo to where you don't really need to stress the engine the entire time you're driving this car. So I think these hybrids are gonna actually outlast the normal turbos, and I don't think you're gonna really see the issues you might have after 150,000 miles of a standard turbo engine. I think the hybrid is gonna alleviate all the stress, and when you drive it, it is powerful. It's got all the stuff you'd like. We've off-roaded in one plug-in hybrid, a Wrangler 4xe, and the slow speed crawling is fantastic with the electric motors. You have that instant torque to help crawl over rocks and big obstacles. So I'm really hopeful for these hybrid. I think you really get quite a lot of performance for the money. I don't really have any major negative complaints. I think it's a solid vehicle. I would honestly buy one, and yeah, really nothing to complain about except for there's no third row in a Land Cruiser. So if you really want that, 4Runner or the GX would be the one for you. That is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for plenty more content. And a big shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this new Land Cruiser for today's video. Take a look at their website, links down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.